Welcome to another edition of Comet Algebra. This video is for Algebra 1, Chapter 2, Section 6, Simplifying Equations. Now there's nothing really brand new in this section except for the fact they're taking skills that you've learned in the past and they're dumping together and asking you to do all these things in one problem. So the only real notes we have is that sometimes you need to simplify an equation before you start the solving process using your undoing method. So some guidelines to follow here. On step 1, look for any distribution and do that first. After the distribution is done and the parentheses are gone, step 2, combine any like terms, and then go ahead and solve the equation using the undoing method. So, sounds simple enough. Let's try an example. And of course, as always, we show our work. So we're going to start here with the distribution. If drawing the arrows in helps you, feel free to do that. 3 times 2a is 6a. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. And the only thing that's being distributed here is this negative sign. Some students prefer to think of this as a negative 1 sitting here, and if that visually helps you, go ahead and write it in. And again, we're just distributing this negative sign or this negative 1 to both terms that are in the parentheses. So this becomes a negative 5a minus 12 equals a negative 14. So now we go ahead and combine like terms. We have 6a minus 5a is just a. A negative 21 and a negative 12 is a negative 33, and this is equal to a negative 14. So if we go ahead and add 33 to both sides, we end up with that a is equal to 19. All right, the next example. Once again, go ahead and do the distribution. Here, multiplying a 5 times both of these terms gives us 5y plus 15, and then distributing the 6, plus 6y minus 54 equals 38. Combining like terms is next, and you really have to shift your brain out of multiplying mode into adding mode because they're two very different tasks, and sometimes our brain doesn't like us to make that shift. So we're kind of training our brain to shift in and out of the tasks we need to do in algebra. So 5y and 6y is 11y, and 15 minus 54 is a negative 39, and this equals 38. So now we add a 39 to both sides, and oh, it looks like I missed a negative sign. No. Oh, no, I didn't. I do just need to add 39 to both sides. Sorry about that. And 38 plus 39 I got is 77. And then if we divide both sides by 11, we end up with an answer of y equals 7. All right, moving to our next example here. Again, doing the distribution first. We have this negative 4, it's being multiplied by this x, and a negative 4 is being multiplied by this negative 10. So I'm just going to write this whole side and do the distribution. So I have a negative 4x, and negative times negative is positive. So make sure you catch that positive sign in the distribution. All right, now combining like terms. Oh, this is kind of interesting. 4x minus 4x is gone, so I am left with 5x plus 40 equals 85. Now it's just a two-step equation, like we've done many of this kind. 85 minus 40 is 45. Divide both sides by 5. And x equals 9. The last thing we are asked to do in this section is to change repeating decimals into fractions. When your book says a quotient of integers, that's just a fancy way of saying fraction. Now, there is an algebraic way to do this, but since it is a calculator function, we're just going to use our calculators for this. So when you enter a repeating decimal, could you please enter several times, maybe enter about 5 or 6 of the repeats just to make sure we have enough for accuracy. So if you would punch 0.6363 and so on a few times into your calculator, and then hit the math button and bring up that menu, and then choose it just says frac, meaning to turn it to a fraction. So if you hit math fraction, you would get 7 over 11. And again here, you don't really, well, I guess you do need to enter the 3. I was going to say, we don't want a mixed number. We do want an improper fraction because that's what we're going to be dealing with in algebra. So do hit 3.111 several ones and then math fraction. Your calculator should read 28 over 9. And this one 2.166666 and so on. The calculator should give you 13/6. And then likewise, to go backwards with this process, if they give you a fraction, like if they gave you this 13/6, just punch 13 divided by 6 on your calc and it would give you a decimal answer. All right, that's everything you need for section 2.6. Have fun with that.